And so Halloween is on its way once again, so I guess we better start preparing ourselves for witches, ghosts, goblins, and an onslaught of other nasties. My name's Kanan, and this one's Witchcrafty. Engage.
Story. When there's something strange in your neighbour woods, who's you gonna call? A little witch. Say what? Yes, you're the little witch, and you're tasked with finding out why plants have started to attack within their once peaceful forests. The once peaceful people are also fighting each other, which is a bit of a problem. And don't get me started on them goblins. It's all very light-hearted as you discover who has caused all this mess and who stole the witch's mail. I think that was meant to be ha-ha. Gameplay. As you can see, it's a platformer and one of them pixel art type ones. It also has a slight Metrovania feel to it with that map that you can very easily follow and things. As you get started, you get to use a swipe button to do damage, a jump and a double jump to leap up platforms, and one of them slide dodge mechanic things that can also be used to get to out of reach places. The controls are okay, and there are a few different issues with it. Some I'll come back to later, but for now I'll say that, well, basically it suffers from that same thing where you try to pinpoint a jump and it just doesn't respond to what you basically want it to do. This is mainly apparent when you're trying to double jump. And I also felt that the controls were slightly too much happening within the controller, so you kind of got confused with things, especially items that you don't use so much, but I'll come back to that later. Using magic is easy, but it does use mana up, which can be replenished at points dotted around, as well as finding all the important health pickups. These are normally disguised as little plants. As well as these, you will be tasked with picking up gems that I'll come back to, and also collectibles if you wish to go that extra mile or two. And talking about going an extra mile, why not like this video, because it really does help, and subscribe if you haven't already, so you can be notified and also enjoy my future content. Back to the review. The creatures seem varied at first, but then fall into the same trap most games do, with a lack of variation and reskins and the like. Like different coloured same creature. There's also the matter you can straight up avoid most of them. That dash button will become your best friend, depending on how you look at it, for getting through the game a little quicker. And by a little quicker, I mean quite significantly quicker. In fact, while we're on the subject, the actual magic abilities you pick up on your travels through the lands, and this could be just me, but I barely use them beyond opening up areas and breaking crates and the like. So having different elements and all was almost kind of pointless. And I suppose if we're actually talking about bad points, them controls, as I said I'd come back to them, really need tweaking. They tended to stutter while jumping a few times, and at some points plain up and simply paused here and there. In fact, sometimes I was actually battling a creature and literally I would just pause, not being able to move until the creature had finished killing my character off. This is kind of unacceptable. And it didn't just happen once, it happened many times, and in many different areas, and many different creatures. There are some boss battles, as per games like this, it basically goes down to solve the pattern, avoid objects, and put down the enemy. Pretty standard stuff, really. There are a couple of other points of interest within the game, one being a shop, which basically you can buy things in to put up things like your mana and the like. I never really got or bought anything from this place because, well, once you can like bounce your way past all the enemies, none of this really felt necessary, so I just didn't collect the crystals. The other point was a fast travel Flymaster you can unlock with its own map and the like, and you can flip yourself between stages. This was quite cool. And also your save progression was a big ass crystal with, well, the ability to save your game. Sometimes they were oddly stretched and not very close together, and other times they were like, dotted really randomly and close by for some reason. On paper, there's a lot of fun to be had here, but it all feels rather samey. Even the various levels, later adding fire and ice, just follows the same path as the previous levels. Visuals and sound. As I said, it does get samey, and the pixel art is okay, but just does not feel great. The pause and stuttering really hinders your enjoyment, and everything having that similar feel but different palette does not help in the slightest. Sound is okay with some, again, okay music played that I'm sure some will love, but for me it was, Final thoughts, and that score. Simply put, it's broken, with its pausing at critical moments making it so hard to complete and adds so much frustration to the game. This one will be honestly easily forgotten in a few days unless it gets a desperately needed patch. With the glitches I found, it's not helping itself bond to the player. All in all, for me, I feel I can't really recommend it at this price, and it does need patching. 1 out of 5, maybe more with a patch fixing the problems I found, but you can still avoid most creatures, so I'm not sure it will help all that much. And moving swiftly along with my alternative, I'm going to be suggesting Wife Quest. So go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button for future videos like this one. Leave a comment below on your thoughts or alternative of your own. And come and visit us in the Discord, which is the place that you'll be wanting to head to continue the conversation. The link is down below. And I'll see you next time. Take care out there, because life is better when we switch together.